Hi everybody, Debbie here. Welcome back to my channel. I have been making Memorydex cards. I started a new series where I do a Memorydex Monday. And every Monday I'm going to make a different Memorydex card. This was card 1. This was card 2. I like this. It's so pretty. And I want something to store them in where they're going to sit up like this and I can actually flick through them and see them, because I'm going to have 52 cards by the time the end of the year comes, or at this time next year at least. I'll have 52 cards. So I wanted something to put them in. So I have these dowels that I got at Dollarama. They're skewers. They have pointed ends on them. And they're all a little bit warped. So if anybody's played pool, you know you want your pool cue to be nice and straight. And you roll it like this to see how straight it is. Well, that one's not so bad. But look at this one. I mean, this is horrible. It won't even roll. So I'm going to find the 2 straightest skewers that I have, and I'm going to use those as my dowels. So I think these are my 2 safest ones right here. And they're still not perfectly straight. This one's the best. This one's got a little bit of a warp in it. But I'm going to show you how I'm going to turn these and an empty tissue box into some pretty storage for my Memorydex cards. I don't know how many this will hold, but it'll hold quite a few. But the measurement that you want to look for in a box like this, when you're looking for a box, is not the height, because I'm not going to put a lid on this, but it's the width. Will my cards fit in here? Now I'm going to try not to go over the edge by too much. This box is fine for this. The thing about tissue boxes is look at how pretty they already are. You don't even have to put decorative paper on the outside of this unless you want to. So the first thing I'm going to do to turn this into my display box is grab my scissors, and I'm going to cut from the opening where the tissue comes out to the corner on all 4 corners like this. I need to be able to get into this box. And you don't want to cut your box apart anywhere here, because you want that structure. The next thing I'm going to do is open it up like this, and all of this plastic is glued on the inside. Just grab the end, because it's one, at least on my boxes, it's been one long bit. Like this. So once you get all your plastic off, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to come in. This spot here is the narrowest spot on the top part of this box. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut straight across to that narrow spot. And I'm just going to leave an edge like this all the way around my box. So I've already got one started. This is it. And I've done those steps. So my plastic is gone. My box is good. And I'm going to take my hot glue. This is the Sharp Bonder glue. And I'm going to put an extra bit in there. And I'm using my hot glue because I don't want to wait for this to dry. So this box here popped off a little bit. I want this to be really secure. So I'm going to come in here and put glue all the way up the edge of this box. I want these ends to be glued on, especially these top pieces, because this is cut. This is a flap, and the only thing holding this box together is the glued edge on both these ends right here, and that flap will come right off. So I am going to reinforce this with more hot glue. And make sure that that's not going anywhere. And this one too, it popped off way too easy. So let's get this fixed. And then I'm also going to do this. I'm just going to pop these up a little bit so I have easier access to them. And the reason I kept these is because this creates the prettiest finished edge all around the top of your box right here. So I'm going to grab my hot glue again. And I'm going to put a bead of hot glue all along this. I want enough that that's going to stick down really well. I'm going to fold it over and hold it for a minute. I've done one of these boxes before. These are pretty easy. So again, I'm going to go all along. And then I'm going to fold this over. So now I have a box. Now, at this point, you can take your measurements inside here and put an inside piece of paper around if you want to. And I've got these two pieces that I ripped out. This was just from a Dollarama paper pad. So one's a little bit browner than the other. So I'm going to try to get all my edges covered with one piece. I'll see. So my measurements inside my box, I'm just going to stick my ruler into the bottom of the box. And I can see from that 3¼ inches will come really close to this rim. Still leave this nice finished edge at the top here. Or I could come up and over the side and come down an inch if I wanted to do a 4-inch piece. What should I do? So will I do a 4-inch piece? Let me see. Because what I'm going to do is add some lace on the outside of this. Oh, here's my lace right here. So if I have it come over the edge of my box, just about an inch, and then add a row of this lace all the way around, it would cover the glue line from hot gluing my paper. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'm going to cut this into 4-inch strips. I'm just going to grab my paper trimmer for that. And I'm going to measure. I'm going to go from this side. Let's get that piece of paper out of there. I'm going to go 4 inches. And I should still have 4 inches and cut that little dotted line off. So this should give me enough. I'm going to take my paper, I'm going to put it inside my box like this. inside my box like this and just run a bead of glue along the inside of the box. And then I'm just laying that back in there. And I don't usually do paper crafts with hot glue, but I found it's the easiest way to do something like this. So I'm going to tip this over and I'm going to put some hot glue along the bottom and along the top right here. Ouch. It's hot glue. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add just a little bit of hot glue at the bottom and closer to the top, right there. I'm going to give this a roll so I can set it in here at the bottom and keep it right at the bottom of the box. And then I'm just going to use my finger, right like this, just use my fingernail to press in there. So I got a little off track here. I'll have to trim that with my scissors to even it up. I'm going to do that right now. So all I'm going to do is go to the edge of that one and cut to that corner. So now this one's in here pretty good. I'm going to cut down this corner right there. I'm going to cut on this corner right here because I have to fold this over like that. And I don't even think I'm going to, yes I am. I'm going to fold it over a little bit because that top piece will be hidden by the lace when I run a piece of lace around the top of this. And I'm going to fold the top of this over. So I have to glue this piece down. I'm just holding it back. And I'm running just like this, just running some glue. And fold this down. Just rolling it over. There. Now I need another little piece. I'm just going to measure like this and cut up just like this. I just cut a piece off. I'm going to put it in here. Remember, you're not going to see hardly anything on the inside of this box. Once you get your Memorydex cards done and the box gets filled up. I've got some cards that I'm just going to throw in here and I'll show them to you when, I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. There. Now I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm just going to go around this top edge here. And remember, this is nice and round at the top because we folded the top of that tissue box down. So now I get this. This piece is where we joined, so I need a little bit more glue on there. It's going together really fast. So, because I didn't have to make the box or cut the box down or anything. Tissue boxes are a really great size for a lot of different things. All right, so I have options as well. I can, because this is this almost wood look paper, I've got some coffee dyed lace from the dollar store as well that I could put on here. Ooh. Now, what do I think of this? Just having this around the top of the box so I can see more of that. What do I like better? This one or this one? I think I'm going to use this one, and I'll tell you why. If I start it here and run it around and end it here, then I can cover this over by putting a little dangle just at the top of the lace in one of these little holes with a little bulb pin or something like that. And this will be the end that shows at the front. I can have a little dangle down here, and then I can make a label that says Memorydex cards on here, which I think would look super cute. So I'm not going to do that until I get my inside in here. So my Memorydex card will drop down on this and sit like this and just slide back and forth along. And I do think that one dowel is enough, because all I want to do is stop it from going side to side so they don't catch on each other, and just go front to back. So I'm thinking that that'll work, but I have to measure inside my box exactly where I want the dowels. I'm just going to put my Memorydex card in the end like this. I'm going to grab a little brush pen or a marker, whatever this is, and I'm going to put a line coming right out of the end of the hole where the dowel goes. Like that. Then I'm going to come around to the other end. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to measure so that my card is sitting in the middle of my box. And I've got a line there. I just want to put another line in here just to make sure that I'm going up the center. Just a couple dots. I want to show you a really easy way to cut these dowels. First, I'm going to measure how long I need it to be. For that, I'm just going to measure to the end of my box. And put a line there. And I'm going to do that for both of them. Just like that. So now I've got the ends marked. And I'm going to cut them. And this is what I'm going to cut them with. I've struggled with cutting this bamboo. This is really hard. And I don't have a saw. And I've used a serrated knife. I've used a blade. I've done all kinds of things and tried to score it and break it. But these are nail clippers for your pet. So all I do is put my clipper on the line, give this a really good squeeze. I'm almost all the way through, and I just do that. And it worked so well. So much easier than all the other ways I've tried to do it. So if you've got a dog or a cat and you've got nail clippers, make sure you don't have any little kids around when you're doing it, because you don't want to put an eye out when that flies, but that one went right through. So yeah, nail clippers for your pets. So now there's not as much difference. This one's almost perfectly straight, and this one is only off by a little tiny bit. So let's see what we can do about gluing these into the bottom of this box. I think I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to put my stick in here. So I'm going to put some glue down there, a little line of glue here in the middle to make sure that I catch it, and some glue at this end. And then let's get this. I think I'm just going to set that in there and in there. And it should catch. Okay, let's do this one. Some glue on this end. Some glue on the center dot. And some glue on that dot. And I'm going to let that harden. Before it hardens, I'm going to check to make sure my card fits on this nicely. Does it come all the way down to this end? And it fits on this end as well. Make sure that's not in any of that glue. So that's pretty straight. So that's what I've got now. I think I'm going to use this right here. I'm going to start, first I'm going to make sure that this piece goes all the way around, and it does. I'm going to start on the end. And I am going to put my glue right about there and get this started. Just a small bead. There, like that. And I am going to continue putting this down and going around the box. At the end, right here, I'm going to put just a little crunch there so I can fold this back, trying not to burn my fingers. I should really have silicone tips. And then to make sure I've got it here, I'm going to put some down the end and then a little bit right up the center and go right over top of that piece. And I'm done. So somehow I lost the footage for the very end of this video, but this is what the box looks like when I have Memorydex cards in it. And I really do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Comment, let me know if you've made your own DIY Memorydex box. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd love for you to do that before you left so you can come back, see what I'm up to. I'll see everyone in the next video. Until then, bye-bye for now, everyone.